A gutsy dub came through for the Sooners, something that we needed. Here, we're going to talk about that here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. I'm your host, Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Don't think we deserve it? Go ahead and just give us 5 anyway and gift it. So, on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, we got a lot of fun things to dive into and talk about from this game. Like, the Sooners somehow won the game. They pulled out a W in a hostile environment. We're going to talk about both sides of the ball and kind of how they got to it and some of my thoughts in between there. We'll also look at the latest polls and we'll give some reactions to that. Plus, Hugh Freeze got fired. And I got a lot of thoughts on that. Thank y'all. I appreciate everybody pulling up. So if you have not noticed, I'm going to go ahead and run today's show solo. So I'm going to open it up with this though, because, you know, my partner in crime, Jay Coop, is not here. Would like all of you to put up a prayer for him and his family. His grandfather is on the last couple of days. And so he is there at the hospital with his people. They are, surrounding him with love and being there with him while he's comfortable in his last day. So say a prayer for Coop and the people. I want to make sure I opened up and talked about that. So that's why you see me solo. We're going to go ahead and just run. I was going to invite a few people to get on here, but after all the travel and I was dealing with internet issues, I didn't even think I was going to be able to go live. And I was like, I won't put people on hold like that. But since we're good, I'm going to talk ball with y'all because I got a lot of things to say about this game, even more than what I had from the morning after. Got another additional watch and look through. So many things to talk about there. But I want to start off, though, we've got to give flowers to Tennessee. So went out to Knoxville, got to check out the environment, got to check out the atmosphere, and it is really like borderline second to none, dog. That was an amazing atmosphere. Probably one of the best, if not the best intros I think I've ever seen. Like, it was just cool. Everything about the way they have that place set up, the lights, the theatrics, everything, going into dark mode. If you can ever find a way to get to a Tennessee game that's played at night, go to Neyland. That stuff was unreal. It was just chef's kiss. Worth my time, worth everybody's time that showed up. Everybody I talked to about it, they're like, hey, man, probably one of the better atmospheres I think I'd ever seen. And it was just cool. The light show was dope. They had a lot of really cool stuff going on. And like I said, if you could ever find a way to get there, just from the socials, there was just so many cool just visuals going on. And so got to give them that. Like I said, I've been to Death Valley. I've been to Tuscaloosa. I've been to, I've been to a lot of the bigger stadiums. I've made some treks. Night mode there, yeah. Dark mode, yeah. Tennessee, second to none. Plus, the fans were awesome. We got to meet some pretty dope ones. They just was always asking if we were good. We were enjoying ourselves in their town. They were, giving food out at the tailgate. I had like 5 or 6 of them just stopping as we was walking by to get to the stadium. Hey, we got some food, we got some gumbo, we got this, we got that, got some barbecue, blah, blah, blah. Man, I'm stuffed, but I appreciate it. But it was dope. And like I said, as you can see the visuals here, I want to pull these from socials. These are beautiful. And so make sure, if you ever get an opportunity, check it out. So let's start off with the simple stuff here. Like I said, did my morning after. You heard the voice was non-existent. I was loud the entire time. I'm singing, I'm hooting, I'm hollering, and I can't breathe. But the Sooners pulled out a victory that, if I'm being 100% honest with you all and with myself, they needed that. And it was less about needing a W to say they got a W. It was more of they needed to gut something out. Right? Yeah, dog. I'm still full from the food. I am still full because of how much I ate on this trip. But no, it was one of those you appreciate a lot more type trips when you go and you're like, man, everybody here was just accommodating in every capacity. But back to it, Oklahoma needed this win. Less about getting a W, more about this was a massive morale win, in my opinion. Like one of those where you just feel good about the team coming together and figuring this ish out. Because we needed that. It's been a season of mostly good, but a lot of weird. Your biggest weird is, offense hasn't figured out how to continue to be consistent. And we would like a little bit more consistency, which I think we'll get in time, but that's what we're here for. But all in all, the offense figured it out. They figured out how to, in the second half, make something happen. Like the numbers were pretty wild when I actually jumped into the broadcast stats and looked at how we actually, like third quarter, that's when we put up the numbers. And I was like, oh, we actually know how to play offense. John Mateer got his confidence after halftime, it felt like. It felt like in the third, because in the second quarter, it was brutal. We had, a total of 15 plays for 65 total yards. We had at the half, like, it was like 99, I think that was the total number. It was bad. We weren't very good. First quarter was 34 yards. So, yeah, we had 99 yards at the half. It was brutal. And so all of us are sitting there watching it. Everybody around me, we're looking at each other like, okay, answer me this. How in the heck are we up 16-0 at the half? And I know a lot of you gonna say a few things I respect, but I need y'all to understand. I have to have y'all understand this. The fact that we were able to exploit the things we needed to in a game where they've got, let me get the number real quick. Cumulative at the half. See if I can pull up that halftime number I had in front of me. Halftime number, 255 yards to 99. And you are up 16-10. Your defense did something right. I know you still gave up 255 yards. This is an offense, and I said this about Lanes. I said this about this one. Hell, Sark's similar as well. No matter what, you're gonna give up yards to those quarterbacks. It's they scheme a specific way around the aggressiveness of BV, and do a really good job of that. But the fact that you were only giving up 10 points and you're up 16-10, you get 3 first half turnovers. It's huge. We're, of course, going to praise the titanium leg. Don't worry. The titanium leg is going to get his own segment because I have to talk about how we got to those points. Because, yeah, titanium leg deserves all the love. But I think the flowers deserve the entire defense deserves some flowers there because they were able to do that. I mean, this is how you finish the game. You finish the game at 351 yards of offense, which I'm going to be honest, it's kind of an embarrassment. This Tennessee defense is infamous for giving up a ton of yards. And you weren't able to fully capitalize on it like you should have. But the thing you did figure out was you didn't make them work for all of that. Aguilar was through 45 passes in this game, 8.7 yards a play, which is actually pretty good. But they ran 1.8 yards. This was the lowest rushing game for Tennessee in like 5 years. Maybe 6. That's doing something because Tennessee pretty solid run the ball. Deshaun Bishop was a beast. And Deshaun Bishop's had 12 carries for 38 yards. They were moving a whole bunch of running backs around. They couldn't get a big run like they wanted. They had one big run, and it was called back because of he stepped out of bounds at 5 yards afterwards, which is the only reason why he got past everybody. But the numbers did not lie. Now, that penalty number for us, geez, Louise, 11 for 104, and they had 3 for 25. I know. I told y'all this. I told y'all this from jump. I told y'all this to remember this. Do not let the referees dictate your team's success. And that was a situation where, maybe the refs were trying to take it away, but they couldn't because we did everything we were supposed to do. But it was everything we needed out of this team, morale-wise, culture-wise. This was a culture win. The team walked out there and said, I don't care how we do it. We're not going to lose it. And then they backed it up. Not something we're used to, but it's something we may need to get used to, because that was probably the touching part of seeing the way they played. You saw them have each other's back. Hell, you saw them after the R. Mason Thomas touchdown, which I'll point that out in a minute. R. Mason Thomas gets that touchdown, and you see them all in the end zone with them. They saw he got hurt, and they basically carried him back. So that's something that you have to appreciate. Again, culture win. This was a win for the morale, for the culture, for the psyche of this team. Now they truly probably feel like they can beat just about anybody now going forward, regardless of the performance of, just everybody. They think that they can have a sloppy, ugly game and they can go out there and still win. They can close it. They did that. You got to see that. Something that's really tough. Definitely an appreciation piece there. I want to jump heavy into the defense. We're going to talk Tate Sandell defense. We're also going to talk about what all of this means for us going forward, because truth be told, there's big things coming forward. First, I want to shout out our partners over there at Sleeper. If you have not checked them out to support the show, go check them out. Use the promo code UNFAIR. They're going to give you a match at 100% on your first deposit up to $100. Plus, I just give you $20 for signing up. So you got to check it out. That's how you can support the show well. And, of course, making a couple of picks here. You got Sam Darnold going on tonight's game. I'm going to pick him as our free pick of the week. I'm going to go to some NBA games because I'm kind of curious what the NBA numbers look like. Austin Reeves, Boomer Sooner, cooking. Can he get 23.5 more? Everybody's going to take the more because he's been balling. I don't think anybody else is back yet, so we're going to go ahead and take him more there as well. Bam Adebayo, I'm going to go less on him on the points. I just don't feel like he's a point scorer, but, he may shock your boy. But it's fun. Dalton Connect, I think he can get 1 assist. He should play. They got everybody on the team's hurt, right? So that's all you got to do is pick 2 or more players, pick more or less on their stats. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. Make those game days and the paydays. Check them out. Download the Sleeper app. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. And then they'll give you $20 just for signing up. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. I want to go ahead and praise the short king. I was a little perturbed by the Herb Street commentary when I heard it later. He had a little obsession with the short shorts. I don't know why. I even seen Tennessee fans say that it was against the rules or something BS. But if you really think about it, like, how is it against the rules if your player doing the same thing? But I learned that, when you talk to some of these fans, a lot of their mindset is, it's okay for me, but not for thee, right? Like, you can't do what they do. You have to, follow the rules one by one. But this isn't all Tennessee fans, because there were some great ones there. Made some great fans while I was out there. Made great friends out there. They were awesome, and I'm definitely going to get back out there. Thank you, Monday came, man. Let the people know, hit that like button. But this was one of those where the awareness of this team and the confidence in this team that even though we haven't figured out how to get our offense rolling the way we want, get Tate in range. He will boot it. 3. 3 in the first half. He out here putting boots to the ball. Finished the game with 4 field goals, 3 of them over 50 yards. Bruh. That was the greatest kicking performance in OU history. I've asked a couple of people about that. Was there another scenario where y'all can tell me you synced a dude boot the ball like that in real time? Can't say there was. This is also one of those moments where y'all know I love doing this. I do it when I'm right and I do it when I'm wrong. I'll let y'all know I was an idiot for saying that. I'm going to toot my own horn because I already told y'all when we got him out of the portal, I said, hey, sure, he was at UTSA. I get it. Maybe not the highest recruited guy. Understood. But the fact that he missed only 1 field goal within 40 yards is going to be critical in playing in the SEC. The reason is because of how our schedule has lined up. We've only played 1 team that's now with a losing record. Fired the coach. Everybody else, winning record, still in the hunt, and they most likely will be in the hunt all the way through. Actually, 2 teams. South Carolina's now a losing record, but everybody we're going to play are going to play us tight that have the winning records. The most important part about winning games when it's tight is having a kicker that can be clutch. Titanium Leg gave us that. Titanium Leg put it out there, and that's my name, trademark. Make sure you tag me when you use Titanium Leg. Take Titanium Leg Sandell. Please tag me anytime you use it. So when you have a kicker that can do that, you now have confidence going no matter where you're at in the country. This was one of those, all right, because I think he's on a 18-game kick streak right now, a field goal streak. He's made 18 straight. Dude's been on it. And it's one of those that the confidence. I mean, he wore the little shorts and everybody, of course, laughed about it. But if that made that man comfortable to be able to kick them deep shots, it's important. You want him to be able to do that. So I said, don't change anything, dog. Keep your routine the same. The same. It was awesome to see him do that. So, for me, I'm happy at the fact that they got somebody that they trust to kick those balls. Okay. Defense. R. Mason Thomas returns the ball for a touchdown. Gets hurt, unfortunately. But Brent Venables said in the post game that they don't expect him to be gone for long. Maybe a light hammy situation. He may be back right around possibly Bama. With the depth, we may be okay. We may be okay. I don't know. But we are in a situation where we're not desperate, if you catch my drift. Because you got excellent play. Daniel Collier went out there, got himself a sack. We finished the game, 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss. You got Collier minutes. Of course, Taylor Wine has been doing the Taylor Wine things. It's gotten to the point where Taylor Wine is getting doubled up. They're legitimately watching him as if they know he's a problem. So you're not getting a situation where he's going to be able to be free and by himself. But the good thing is that as I'm sitting in the stands, The funny thing I was hearing from the people around me was, and I heard this like 8 or 9 times. They were like, how are they getting pressure with 4? Our line sucks. They're getting pressure with 4. And that's kind of how we played that game. We were kind of pushing them around with just 4. Didn't even do a whole bunch of crazy blitzes. The secondary did a good job of keeping up with their guys most of the time, especially a lot of the really deep ones, so that the line can get in there and really they had Aguilar moving a lot more than I think he wanted to. Now, Heupel, of course, is a wizard when it comes to designing offenses, to the point of Aguilar was out there, and at a certain point, he was able to, he was getting dudes across the middle. He was getting dudes on dump routes, and occasionally would fling it. But that was the good thing about how the secondary was playing. After a while, they recognized what he was trying to do. Like, there was some questionable DPIs out there. I'm not going to get into those again. I always tell y'all my rules about the refs. Don't let them just dictate your team's success. Guillory was playing some really good coverage. They were picking at him because he was a true freshman. Their best receivers weren't really cooking. I mean, Mike Matthews had the long play. Brandon Staley had 2 touchdowns. He had that 54-yarder when nobody was wrapping up like they're supposed to. But you gave up 76, 75, and then Chris Brazzell, 6 catches, 68 yards. You got to remember, Chris Brazzell was out there cooking everybody. And we know Chris Brazzell. He played at Tulane. If I'm correct, we were trying to get our hands on him. But he was putting up hundreds of yards on everybody. We played him similar to the way Bama did. Bama had him hold him 7 catches, 66 yards. He is one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the country. I think he's very much underrated. We did a good job of making things hard for him. And a lot of it was Cortland Guillory's doing. But they picked at him on purpose. 7 targets, 4 receptions, 57 yards. They were picking at him on purpose, which was smart. That's what you're supposed to do to a true freshman. Eli did good with his chases. They got him on the height stuff. Happens. Whoop-de-doo. But I did love that interception that Peyton Bowen got, because that was the Bowen brothers. Bowen Brothers Incorporated. You saw the big skinny post or deep post. Eli's following him perfectly, and Peyton watching the eyes of Joey Aguilar. And as we mentioned in the preview here, we mentioned in the preview when I was talking to Eric Kane, we talked about it on Locked On, and you even heard Teddy and Gabe talk about it. Aguilar has a pretty quick release, but he has a long windup. So if you can be in the right spot, you're going to pick them off. That's how we got 2 picks. Second one in Robert Spears-Jennings got, Joey was, I think he was trying to throw it away, got hit, launched it, and Spears-Jennings was in the right spot, prepared just in case. He made sure that they wide receiver was that Ethan Davis, that he wasn't going to catch that pass. He was going to be bracketed. He did a great job of getting it. You saw a lot of really good coverage regardless of what the statistics told you. And I feel like a lot of us need to recognize that part more than the fact that Joey Aguilar is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Statistically, he throws a lot of yards, and he got Josh Heupel tying it up. But we did what we needed to do in the clutch to make it really hard for him. Again, we were up, and we had almost a double-digit lead in this game. We had a 2-touchdown lead at 9-point lead. We made life hard on them. You go into the half up 16-10 on an offense that averages over 40 points per game, and we held them under 30. Remember, that's a big deal. We've only given up 30 points to one team this year. That was the Ole Miss game. We did a good job of forcing them to do the things that they didn't want to do. And that's why I commend this defense. PJ Adebawari got in there, got a tackle for loss on the run by Joey Aguilar. He's not a runner. So he did what he needed to do, get in there, boom, and get the play. 8 tackles for loss. Still lead the country in it. Still averaging over 10 per game. We won't see another offense that's great for the rest of the season. Alabama's is good. It's not as good as this one. Missouri lost their quarterback. They had a true freshman throwing the ball around now. And y'all all know what's going on there at LSU. So I'm not sure if we really could consider their offense to be really that good. So passing offense-wise, Bama's right underneath Tennessee. They're actually just stepped over Ole Miss, averaging over 291 yards per game. But Tennessee averages over 300 a game. For us, see, Bama is 8th in the conference because they don't run the ball very well. So if we continue with our muscle up front and we play and we get better, we continue to improve in the coverage because we're playing a whole bunch of young dudes, guess what? We have a very good shot of winning that game too. We'll talk about that in a bit because that to me is going to be the biggest game for us for the second week in a row. Aguilar, 100%, Jimmy. He has NFL size and an NFL arm. Mr. Lemon, which D-line guy for us was the one that stayed down on the first or second drive? I think that was either Dominic Williams or G-Baby. It was one of those two. I'm not sure which one, truth be told, because from the distance I was looking at, I couldn't tell. But they were mad. Tennessee fans were pretty pissed off. When we pulled the dude with a cramp. But you know what's funny? Did y'all see us do that again? Nope. You start to see Tennessee do it, though. Their own offensive players was getting hurt. So when I tell y'all about the brand of football, the physical brand of football y'all want, there's going to be collateral damage. Did you notice how many people got hurt in that Tennessee game on Tennessee side? I know. You would hope you wouldn't take your own teammates out, but guess what? That kind of happens. It is what it is. But the thing we did see was, based upon the brand of football we want to play, our physicality is pushing people around. I've got a lot of things to say about the offense. I mean, a lot. Let's talk about kind of the good and the bad on the offense. We do that. Shout out to our partners at Sleeper. If you're not using them for daily fantasy football or daily fantasy sports in general, you are missing out. They are hooking everybody up. They're going to give you $20 just for signing up. No deposit required. Use our promo code UNFAIR. But if you decide to deposit, they're going to give you $100 if you deposit $100. And I jump in there and I play quite often. You just pick 2 or more players, pick more or less, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money, which turns your game days into paydays. So download the app. It's one of the top apps out there. Use our promo code UNFAIR. You're going to get $100 if you deposit $100. But if you decide not to deposit, they're going to give you $20 for signing up. New users only. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Please hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, and give us 5 stars. Shout out to our guy Hi Bazinga for another $5. We appreciate that every time you support the channel. Run the ball when it's 1st and 4 minutes left in the game. Still can't help but think Arbuckle isn't the guy. Gave them a chance to come back, shaking my head. I disagree with you 100%. I think Arbuckle is 29, 30 years old and still learning. And he's going up against some of the best defensive coordinators out there. But I do agree. You run the ball. You just keep running the ball. And we learned that the thing you should do is run the ball. Xavier Robinson, 16 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Shockingly, John Mateer looks like he got way more comfortable with understanding that I got to stop thinking and just run. 16 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. I kind of wish Torrey Blaylock would have had more than one carry in this game. But I understood probably why not. John's game is John's game. That's how he plays. I think Arbuckle still is going to be fine. He'll get there. It's going to take time, but he'll get there. But what I will say is I would like every single one of you to take a second, take your hands. Coop sent me his notes on this. Give an applause to that young offensive line. The holes were there. You got to see X-Rob run it like 40-something yards and not sure if you want to score the touchdown or not, which I get both sides of it. But I don't think people understand that. To me, I'll explain that in a second. But first, Coop says this. On the offensive side of the ball, first he had tape for the Groza, so he got to get that. He deserves it. The young line balled out. Foje and Fasusi blocking 10 yards down, which, of course, is huge. John put his big boy pants on in the second half. I agree, because that's exactly what you got out of John Mateer on that. He put his big boy pants on. He went out there and he balled. X gonna give it to you, and I want all I can take. Pause, Coop. Pause. But seriously, X-Rob, 16 carries, 115 yards. I need him to get over 20. We need to move that needle up a little bit more. And it's something that Arbuckle's going to learn. The good thing is Arbuckle understood to just hand the dang ball off. Now, X-Rob's fumble when he was going to go score again, not very good. That hurt. That was one of those painful ones of, ugh. That was just brutal. The good thing is, it wasn't like all bad, right? You forced a punt right afterwards. But you gotta do better with holding on to the ball. We did good overall on offense. Wasn't great. Wasn't amazing. It was good. You start to see the mix up, especially in the second half when we really started going. That's why I say, like, in the second half, you started to see this offense actually put some stuff together. Made me proud. You get that, you give up a touchdown, you drive all the way down to score again. The fumble happens. So then you go in there and you force the 3 and out. That's good. That's really good. As that Joey Aguilar run, you get PJ Adebawore in there. And Coop mentioned this as well. You got a glimpse of your defensive line in 2026. PJ played some good snaps. So did Daniel Okoye. Like I said, he got a sack. Let me see the snap counts real quick because I was actually curious about the totals. Because Cortland played 74. He played almost the entire game. That's how much work he got. Him, Eli, and Peyton. That's your 3. That's really your big future guys. We had Wine at 66. He played a bunch. PJ got 25. You got 11 out of Okoye. Marcus Strong got some snaps. Got a good amount of snaps from your players. Marvin Jones Jr. had 49. It was good. X, though, was not only blocking, he was taking the running seriously. After you force the fumble, after they get the fumble, we force the punt, we drive it down and get a touchdown. X-Rob makes up for his mistake, gets you the touchdown. But that's when you start to feel like John Mateer was like really in his bag. The Jermichael Carter catch, which, okay, J-Mike looking solid. Got a nice catch, had some good blocking as well. Then John and gets that pass over to Satania for 25 yards, which is when I was like, okay, he's in his bag. He's really in his bag. Then we get 2 big runs. 4-yard run by X-Rob, 10-yard run by Mateer, and then we get in the X-Rob touchdown. That's when you're like, all right, we on it. Next possession, another 3 and out. Defense was starting. The defense was starting to ramp it up late. It took some time, but those 2 interceptions in the second quarter and the fumble recovery for the touchdown to tie it took all of the air out of Neyland Stadium. Like all of it. All of it was taken as soon as R. Mason Thomas returned that touchdown. And then you start to see us try to do a little something. Get that field goal. Tate gets that. So titanium leg. The one thing I appreciated most about the picks from not only Peyton Bowen and especially Robert Spears-Jennings' interception, they saw space, they ran it. Of course, they wanted the touchdown, but they made sure they at least got into a spot where it would be good for field goal range. And that was critical because both of those turned into field goals. Because like I said, first half, offense couldn't figure it out. But second half, we did. The offensive line is what impressed me the most. They did very good in this game for all the young players that were playing. Fasusi and Fogier was starting. Eddie Pierre-Louis with Fabechi Wewu. They're blocking their tails off. The only one that really struggled on the edge, I'd say, is Fogier for the most part. But he wasn't terrible. He gave up 4 hurries in that game. A lot of dudes was getting around him. And that's exactly what happened there when you talk about defense, Ian. They schemed up things to start fast early, and then everything slowed down. But X-Rob looked like he could carry the load. And I'm glad that they decided to just hand him the ball. Again, I would have liked Torrey Blaylock to get 10 carries as well, because I think that change of pace with the way that this line was blocking, I think Torrey could have ran out there and also got you about 100 yards too. We could have had 2 100-yard rushers plus John's 80. To me, let's go old school Saban. While John's trying to figure his life out, we got the bullies out there. EPL was a bully. EPL was bullying. You saw him headbutting Fogier before a play and before the touchdown that X-Rob got. You saw bully. Take advantage of that. That to me is important. We should have done that. But on that note, the end of the game and how things got super squirrely. Here's my thoughts on that. So when I'm watching it, we stop them on downs, which is, of course, another massive big win by the defense. They, that incomplete pass. When I was watching the broadcast, they were talking about how I forgot who was on the edge now, just completely brain farted it. But because they knocked off his route, made him have to go a little bit around him, bumping him like that, he didn't get his head around fast enough prep for the ball, so the ball hit him dead smack in his face. He thought it was going to be down here. He turns, blah, hit in the head. We'll take it. Good defense. Alter routes, alter movement, especially players don't play a lot. If you make it uncomfortable for them and it's not picture perfect, it makes it tough on them. Good job. The next possession of running the ball over and over again was smart. 3rd and 4, you get another first down with a Satania catch. Awesome. The call of the RPO there. Brent Venables addressed it in the presser and said, there shouldn't have been an option given. He's 100% correct. That's on Ben. I don't even blame Mateer for it. Because even in talking in conversation with other coaches and stuff that I know, the one thing they mention is when you ingrain in the mind of your quarterback that if you see this, you do it. It becomes repetition. It becomes muscle memory. They just do it. So the simple solution to a play like that, don't give an option. 0 option on the play. Hand the ball off, let X-Rod run up the middle. Just run it. Hand it off. If you're going to do an option, it's read option. Not RPO, not run pass option. It's quarterback run it or the running back run it. Just run that dang thing. And that probably would have killed most of the game and we wouldn't have hit 30 points. X-Rod probably wouldn't hit 100 yards in this game too. That's kind of where I know, right? It's very stupid in my mind. When I said it, I was like, it's dumb. Said it yesterday after the game. It's dumb. But X-Rod doesn't get 100 yards if we didn't do that. If we didn't, unfortunately, give up another touchdown. Because after the onside kick, shout out to our Robert Spears Jennings for snagging that ball down. Chef's kiss. You run it. First play, you get some blocking. And X-Rod runs it, and he tries to figure out, should I score the touchdown? It's kind of like the Gavin Sawchuk touchdown against UCF in 23. He booked it, and he tried to decide if he should run it in or not because of the time, and then he decided to go ahead and run it in. X-Rod instead decided to run up there and go right to the 1 and lay down. This is what I would have done differently if I was calling it. You run that. There's 1 minute and 48 left on the clock. Tennessee has 2 timeouts. What I would have done was I would have had Mateer kneel it. Make him use the timeout. Go to second down. Kneel it a second time. They'd use that second timeout. Then on third down, would have ran it in. Because of the time, Tennessee was going to let you go and get the end zone. Because they needed to be able to turn things over quickly so they can try to score, onside kick, score again. Because their offense is built to go fast. That's the logic in the mindset of why they would have let us in the end zone. You may have been able to kneel it for 3 straight plays. And then went for it on 4th down. You could have, technically. But we didn't. Did another read option, not RPO, but read option, and John runs it in. That's the difference thing I would have done completely different in that. But overall, I 100% agree with Robbie. Harbaugh did a better job in this game of spreading things out. With Mateer in the backs, getting the ball passed around. They did a really good job of moving things. It did not feel like things got overly stagnant. It was, you could tell there was discomfort, but you started to see in the second half, it felt like there was a complete change in the entire book. And you start to see those double routes. You start seeing people open. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Now we just need to get deep passes to Deion Burks, deep passes to Giovanni Gibson, deep passes to Tanya again. I need that. That's what I need my hands on. Okay. Thank y'all again for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Polls. Let me pull those up. Coaches poll, as well as the AP poll dropped. Oklahoma did well in the latest one. So it wasn't one of those where we have a reason to really be upset, right? Let me pull these up for you all to enjoy. If you got questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm trying to catch them. That's a good point, Joseph. Mateer's got to be way more cautious of the time. I noticed that throughout it, like, you can see the changes going. You're like, ooh, that's going to hurt us if, yeah, you got to be careful with that. I 100% agree with you on that. But overall, he did a good job of handling that atmosphere, because that is not an easy atmosphere to play in, like, at all. They make it tough. And that's fully by design. All right. Let me get y'all these top 25s real quick. There we go. So, yes, I'm riding solo today. Coop and Ambulance. All right. Number 11 in the AP poll, which I thought was a very fair spot, puts us right behind the Irish, right above Virginia. There's not much respect for Virginia right now. Tony Elliott, even what he's doing out there, they aren't really respecting that man. But we got there. Texas is right there behind us at 13. Ole Miss at 7. So your losses are to number 13 and number 7 right now. Looks good. Yes, Lloyd, Sandell is a nominee to win the Garza. 100%. And I agree, Drew. Notre Dame is a little higher than they probably should be. Unfortunately, they're going to continuously give them clout. I don't think the CFP rankings, which comes out Tuesday, we will be talking about that right afterwards. I don't think they're going to give Notre Dame that type of respect, even though because their 2 losses are from number 3 and number 18. I mean, Miami was at the top of the top 10. Their 2 losses were top 5 teams, and that's the reason why everybody was giving them as much respect as they would get them, but I don't think they'll get that anymore. Coach's side, though, we are to 12. So 11 and 12, which is not bad at all. They moved Virginia ahead, which, like I said, some people, the coaches respect Virginia and what they're doing more than us. This is about to start shaking itself out for real. We play number 4 and we play number 17 because, LSU didn't live to their end of the bargain to give us a end of season potential play-in game. They didn't give us that. Why? Because, LSU is dealing with a lot of things right now. Like right now, they're trying to figure out how not to pay their coach. Kind of bad if you really think about it. So, yeah. And Washington's now in there. In the AP poll, Iowa moves into the coaches poll. But, yeah, you get the Huskies in there. Not too shabby. Like to see that. For Oklahoma going forward, though, things are going to get very interesting in this aspect. You're playing number 4. You're playing in the AP poll, number 4, number 19, which is where Missouri's at. Back-to-back games, by the way. I need to see, let me see, where is Missouri? Let's go get Missouri's schedule real quick. Let me pull up their schedule. So Missouri has coming up. Oh, snap. They play A&M at the crib. They pull an upset. That could change things, but I don't think they do. Mississippi State at the crib. That game, I'm going to be 100% honest, scares me. And the reason that it scares me is that if Missouri doesn't close that game out, like right now, Texas A&M is a favorite at their house. If they drop back-to-back games, we won't see a ranked team after Alabama. And that kind of hurts us more than it helps. You may think, oh, if they're not ranked, that means you're probably going to win the games, blah, blah, blah. Cool. We need the win at Bama. Desperately. The win at Bama helps any conversation about the playoffs. You win that game, you should be able to close out your last two games, even though both teams are still talented. That finishes your season 10-2. You're in. Especially with the road that you have. Your two losses are teams. Texas probably has a potential loss too. So they survived Vandy. They have they actually have a pretty easy schedule now I'm thinking about it. They got the goods. Arkansas. They got Georgia next, which probably will be a loss. Unless they pull out an upset, then things get squirrely. If both of us win, things get squirrely. But Texas takes on Georgia on the road at Athens. It's going to be a tough one for both. Then they host Arkansas, and then they host A&M to end the season. I think Texas wins 2 out of those 3 games. I just do not know which one it is. The home games, I expect Oklahoma to win out this time because there's no reason for them to lose it. Like, period. Yeah. At some point, Georgia's going to close some of these games out like they should. Vanderbilt had a chance, but they decided to start late, not early, which is exactly what most teams would want. Georgia, Mississippi has Mississippi State, Texas. They travel to Stark Vegas. Texas comes to town. Charlotte, and then they have Georgia Tech, which after that North Carolina State game, a lot of people are kind of down on Georgia Tech. So Georgia should be able to pull that off. I don't think Texas finishes 10-2. Texas is probably going to lose 1 between A&M and Georgia because of the way that they're actually both playing ball overall. Florida's a rivalry game, so I don't count that. Like I said, I've even said that about Red River. That's how that stuff works. That's a toughie. This is how rivalry games are. But Georgia, we need Georgia to probably lose 1 more game. Texas pulls it off. Could be the one. Just saying. You kind of need 1 more conference loss from them. Or you need them to beat Mississippi, lose to Mississippi State on the road in some ridiculous game, and then beat up on Texas at home. But the way things are going, there's an opportunity. Oklahoma's just got to show up again against Bama on the road, which I think they can. We've shown it. You're starting to see a little bit more confidence out of Mateer. We're running the ball. We've done well physically. Heck, last year we beat Bama at home without the ability of running. Just keep that in mind. I mean, passing. We couldn't pass the ball. We just ran the ball the entire time. That was the Xavier Robinson legacy game. So, the coming out party. Put the ball in X-Rob's hands and run it the entire time you're in Tuscaloosa. Now, granted, I think that spread's probably going to be like the level of disrespect they're going to throw at us is going to be like 10. So for Oklahoma, the key thing is going to be here is, yeah, you actually need 2 losses from Bama. So you're going to need Bama to lose the Iron Bowl too, or the LSU. We'll see. But I agree with you here, Oni Kuno. We're out with 3 losses no matter how close the loss. We could lose to Bama by 1 point, win all the rest of the games. Because there's a very good chance that Missouri and LSU won't be ranked when we see them in the season, we won't make it. There's no way. But we beat Bama. Kind of like, we were talking about if we beat Tennessee is our starting point. And a lot of y'all told me that y'all didn't believe that was going to happen. Don't worry, I got the receipts. The comments is in the video when me and Coop was talking about it. A lot of y'all was saying we weren't going to win this game. And I get it. I totally get it. It happens. Totally understand the negativity. But this team gutted out again. They gutted out a win they needed to gut out. That gets you an opportunity to move on to something bigger. Look at some of these comments. Y'all been in there a little bit. I get you, Fatty. But honestly, we didn't really give up much pressure in this game. As you say that. Right? The only person that we gave up 6 pressures in the game. 1 sack that was given up by the line. Mateer was doing his own dancing. He had a lot of time. Gave up 1 hit from the line, which was from Fasusi, and 1 pressure. We gave up 6 total pressures in the game. Most of the problems was on the right side, was Fogier in his first start on the road. Like that. In a night game atmosphere that's just elite. But we did fine besides that. Everybody else was good. You start to see the muscle pushing people around and getting your yards. EPL showed up, showed out, and he showed nasty. The other thing that was good, too, is the entire offensive line played the entire game. That made me proud. We played 66 offensive snaps. Our entire offensive line played the entire game. On the defensive side, we played 84 snaps, and Cortland Guillory had the most snaps at 74. He was basically shadowing the big dudes. And I think he did fine. I had OU winning roughly around where we're at. I know you were, Sooner Cowboy. We talk about you on purpose. You are a negative Nancy. You always out here not having any positive things to say. I get it. I get it. You have PTSD. You've been hurt before. I get it. But I told y'all I was going to put his game out because this was one of those that we didn't, which I'm glad that you said, you didn't think that we could hold Tennessee to under 35 points. I was telling you, man, I didn't think they was going to score 30 in this game. They didn't. A lot of magic happened, a lot of Sooner magic, but it was in my variables that certain things was going to happen to be able to help us to keep them under 30 points. That was going to be the hardest part. Keeping them under 30, and we did it. I knew we were going to give up yards. Like, I didn't even count us having a really good defense overall and stopping yards. You're going to give up. In a game like this, against a OC like this, it's bend, don't break. You give up yards 20-20. You stop them outside of that. I know, Sooner Cowboy. Like I said, you have PTSD. I get it. You're supposed to be upset and hurt and feeling it. And this is the thing that y'all got to remember right here. Now, we didn't take advantage of Tennessee, who has like the 100 and something ranked passing defense, But we should take advantage of Bama's low-ranked rushing defense because we took advantage of Ole Miss as well. We just didn't run it more. That's the game we need to run. Last year, the formula was out there. Do it again. You can take out Kane Womack's defense easily by just running down their throat. You've got the physical dudes to do it. Don't be a punk. That last drive was kind of on purpose, if I'm going to be 100% honest. It was a see if we can get them to make a mistake. Because they were throwing it underneath. We weren't going to let them beat us deep. Their goal was to try to get a deep touchdown on us, and we weren't going to let that happen. And we won time of possession, which is actually kind of surprising. Our goal was to keep everything in front of us. You didn't want to get beat over the top because a quick touchdown would have been worse than them driving and burning clock like they did. That was what we were going for. And we took advantage of that rush defense. Only good point out. Mateer's Thumb. Yes. What's up with all the lack of holding calls on Tennessee's O? I'm going to tell you the secret. The cat's out the bag. You ready? A lot of people complain about this. Rightfully so. On the Tennessee side. They were wearing white gloves, which is not aesthetically pleasing. If you're wearing white gloves, it blends in with the white away jerseys. So the refs were not even looking at hard. It was dumb. It was dumb. It was dumb. But hey, the game's the game. Nobody calls it on us because we are pretty physical. We don't get those calls. Again, do not let the refs dictate your team's success. Do your part, do your thing, and you'll be fine. So, but yeah, I get you. Okie trades. We gave up a field goal. That's what we wanted to do. You forced a field goal. Because you gave up a touchdown the time before. You broke open their defense and almost ran it for it and ended up running it in for a touchdown. But you forced a field goal. That's what's most important. By forcing that field goal, that was what the game just basically ended for them. We could have probably won by double digits. But it don't matter. You walked out with the W. All right. Overcome the refs. No, I don't do overcome the refs. I didn't see. I mean, you're right. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wear gloves that matches the opposing team's jersey. That way you can stop them. They don't call anything if they can't see it. We need to wear crimson gloves. Hold all game long. That way they don't see it. All right. I'm going to wrap this up because I want to talk about the fact that jobs. I know y'all saw it. We have a firing. First, make up picks. Shout out to our partners here at Sleeper. Again, support the channel. We appreciate it. Check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR. Get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. I'm going to look at some of these other NBA. Actually, look at the NFL game here on Sunday night. It's very easy. 2 more players, more or less. I've already done the Sam Darnold one. Let's take a gander. Monday Night Football. CeeDee Lamb. Let's pick a Sooner. They even got college games in here. They even do promos for the college games. So if you pick your sports here, you can pick the team. You can even pick down and go like to just SEC games. So, of course, they don't have them in there yet for this week. But you can go in there and pick them that way. Tampa don't play this week either, so I don't get any Baker Mayfield stuff, which kind of sucks. But give me some Deebo Samuels on the Moore on 51.5 yards. Pickens, I'm going to go less because I think it's going to be the CeeDee Lamb show this week. And the tight end, A.J. Burnham, Seattle may dump it to him. Pick 2 more players, pick more or less. And if you hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your monies. Turn those game days into paydays. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to hook you up. That helps me and Coop. $20 plus their match price deposit at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for once again pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Keep going in the chat. Keep chopping it up. I'm looking for questions. I'm going to pull some of these in as well. Hugh Freeze got fired. I would like to ask, is any of you surprised by that news? Not a soul should be surprised. We 100% expected him to get fired. Why? Because Hugh Freeze was terrible at that school. If I'm correct, did he had all losing records while he was there? Like, it was bad. Right? I'm not crazy to believe that, right? Like, it was brutal there for them. Let me pull up. Curious about his stats. Auburn foot. Hugh Freeze went first year 6-7 after they finally fired Brian Harsin. 5-7 and then 4-4. Was not ranked never got a ranking in his first year, second year. This year he was 22nd in the country, his highest one. That's when they lost to us. We should have expected this man to get fired. Mr. Smith, appreciate you pulling up and joining us. Thank you. I always wondered. Honestly surprised that he made it this long. Auburn's going to see a bunch of kids jump in the portal. I agree. And I'm really curious of what that's going to look like. The portal's going to be jumping. And I know Oklahoma's going to be active. So that's now 3 SEC jobs that are open, though. 3. That's wild to me. That many opened up this fast. I was expecting more in 26 to be a lot. But dang, Florida, LSU, and Auburn now open with Penn State. UCLA's okay job. It's not great. It's not bad. It's okay. But that's a lot more than I would have expected this fast. DJ Durkin is going to be the interim coach. And in my eyes, just like this, Ian, I want us to pillage. Oh, yeah, Arkansas. You're right. David, you're right. I always kind of forget that. So, Ian, I'll point this out in a second. But, David, you're right. Arkansas is open because Oni Kuno. Sean always points out the proper thing. It's technically sort of kind of open. That's Bobby Petrino's job to lose. The question is, does he lose it? Which I kind of think he will. I don't think that he's going to end up leading them to a spot where everybody wants to keep him on the job. It doesn't feel like he's going to keep that job, if I'm being honest. No, I want to pillage Auburn. I want to get in there and start taking some of those athletic players they have on their roster. Arkansas, though, yeah, Bobby's 0-4. I don't think he keeps the job. I think Singleton's done. I think he's done. Cam Coleman's not. Now, I'm going to tell y'all now, Cam Coleman's going to command at least $3 million from somebody. But, Ben G, you talk about pillaging Arkansas. We got Isaiah Satania from Arkansas. He's actually pretty darn good. The problem is, and this is Eco Jar says perfect words here. There are no good coaches lined up for these jobs. Matt Rule got a raise. He can still lead, but he got a raise. Rhett Lashley got a raise, an extension. Most of the people that are considered candidates are getting raises and extensions. Don't worry, Lane Kiffin is getting his next. They'll mix. You're gonna. you're going to see Lane Kiffin get his raise, and he ain't going nowhere. I don't think that Durkin's defense works good with BV's defense. I think BV to continue to do what he's doing. You got jokes, Jonathan. You got jokes. Cute. He is going to portal. He should have went to Mississippi State from the beginning, in my personal opinion. I've said that numerous times. Go to Mississippi State and sit on the bench. Get your head right. Ball out somewhere. But I do think James Franklin ends up in the SEC. He doesn't really line up to the type of coach I would expect from Auburn, though. If I'm looking at the roster for Auburn and who I feel like could be potentially out the door, Coleman's probably gone. Depending on who the head coach is, Deuce Knight's probably throwing the deuces as well. Deuce throwing the deuce. Let's see. Who is not a senior on that roster? Because Cobb would be legit somewhere. Let me see. Damari Alston's already gone in the portal. Jeremiah Cobb's a junior, so he can come back. He's one someone's going to go after. Cam Coleman. Eric Singleton is actually a junior. So Singleton will be on probably available somewhere as well. Perry Thomas will be available. He was good. So same thing with Malcolm Simmons. I don't know if he's on the go, but he may be on the go. Cameron King, true freshman, could bounce. Yeah, I'm seeing Coleman in Miami too. That's a Miami pickup. Just so they can underachieve per the usual. And Becca has thoughts, makes a good point here. Kiffin has his extension given, but he hasn't signed it yet. I don't think he leaves, though. I really don't think he leaves Ole Miss. It's the perfect job. Nick Saban said it best. Why leave a job that gives you everything you want and need for a job whose expectations probably be 10 times higher? You can get fired real quick. He ain't going nowhere. I think he stays. I think he does smart and stays. I don't know about the O-line for Auburn, but I would take some players as, fillers. Their defense is still solid, too. They've got some good defenders. Rayshawn Pleasant will be a fun pickup. But they've got a good group of athletes that will probably hit it. You're right, Topher. They don't have a quarterback yet. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback when they got Carson Beck. Remember, they were in the battle for Mateer first. So there's a good chance that job's going to come open. There's a good chance that they're going to find a quarterback. That's what they always do. They should have had a recruit by now that they like. But they do a lot of all-in stuff that really, to me, hurts. You can't go all-in like that, like they do every single year with one dude every year. You don't see any mesh or gel, and then everything falls apart late in the season. Second time in a row. They've got to have some sort of a quarterback recruit that they want to come in. But losing 2 out of your last 3 hurts everything that you're doing. So that would be nice. Prototype tight end would be dope. I don't see Dabo leaving Clemson, even as much as he complains. Fatty, stop playing with everybody's emotions. Again, he needs to go somewhere where he can sit behind somebody. But I do think that Lang train is going to end up anywhere. It'll be Florida as well, Beckham. I don't see him going anywhere else. And I think J.A. would be fantastic at Vandy. That is very true, Jimmy. He would be good at Vandy. Probably would have done well this year at Vandy. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure y'all send a special prayer up to Coop, as we mentioned before. We'll pray for him and the family. Pray things go well. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Shout out to our partners over there at Sleeper. Use our promo code UNFAIR and they're going to hook you up. So take care of the people. We will talk to all of you probably Wednesday. It's my anticipation. Be good. Be blessed. Namaste. Peace.